The cry of a parent's athan is not just a sentence, it is a thunderclap of emotion, a cry that shakes the heavens and pierces the human soul. When a parent sees their child fall into suffering, failure, or error, something deeply carefully crafted statement, it is urgent, it is torn from the deepest chambers of the heart. In that one cry lies fear, disappointment, confusion, sorrow, delusion, and yet an unborn moment a child is born, a parent invests more than time and energies, hope, prayers, and sleepless nights. They imagine a future where the sun will rise above hardships, where he will make choices that honor the family's sacrifices. But life is not always so simple. A single wrong step, a single moment of weakness. So a single turn of awaken that bow with pride, but with trembling lips and tear-filled eyes whispering, God, what is this, my son? This cry is not always about failure. The dear Dalshonikabiye, as sometimes it parent who sees their son in pain, in illness, in despair, feels an agony far greater than if it were their own body breaking. Because in the eyes of a parent, the son is never separate. He is bone of their bone, and heart of their heart. His missteps feel like scars on their soul. His silence feels like thunder in the parent's mind. And so, in helplessness, they look to display this, not to condemn, but to plead, God, carry this weight. God, help me bear what I cannot understand. Yet within the cry lies love. Notice how even in despair the parent still says, my son, it is a mindful no tragedy can erase the bond. The son may lose himself, but to the parent, he is never lost. The cry is painful, but it is also protective. It says, no matter what has happened, yes, Bilas, you are still, my heart will still beat with yours. And in that very cry, we see the reflection of humanity's relationship with God. Just as a parent grieves for a child, God grieves for his creation. Just as a father or mother calls out in arm to us when we strayed, the cry of a parent's heart is sacred. It is not only human but also spiritual, echoing the eternal connection between love, pain, and hope. Generational Rishrudilohieth, whether they acknowledge it or not, the moment a child is born, the parent is not only raising a life but also shaping a legacy. The cried, what is this? My son, often arises with the child as more than just an individual. He is a reflection of the values, the teachings, and the moral compass passed down. Every decision a son makes is not made in isolation. It parents do not simply provide food, shelter, and clothing, they give a worldview. They teach, sometimes words, often with silent actions, what integrity means, how to handle pain. How to stand in truth on the dignities, and unknowingly absorb these lessons. When a son makes a choice that dishonors those teachings, the parent's heart trembles. The anguished cry, what is this? The bust, my son, is not only something that says, but at the possibility how the chain of values may have been broken. Yet generational responsibility is not only about shame or disappointment. It is also about pride and hope. A son who in the blood of his mother or the compassion of his ancestors becomes a living continuation of that legacy. In his victories, parents see their sacrifices rewarded. In his character, they see proof of the bond between parent. That is why the bond between parent and child is never just biological, it is spiritual and cultural. It carries the weight of yesterday and the promise of tomorrow. When a parent cries out with a rebuke, sometimes it is a question born of self-examination. Did I teach enough? Did I guide enough? Did I stand? As the failure is rarely born alone. It ripples back through the family tree, awakening questions in the minds of parents, and ancestors long gone. This is the sacred changeability. Each link is tested, each link is forged, and when one breaks, all feel the tremor. But there is also grace in this responsibility. A son is not bound to repeat every mistake of his fathers. He has the power to do the showings of past generations. Likewise, a parent must understand that while they pass down tools, they cannot dictate every choice. Generational responsibility is not about control. But the son must build his own house. So when the cry echoes, God, what is this, my son? It is also a reminder to every parent and every generation. Your duty is to give the beauty and faith. Whether they stumble or soar, your role is to prepare, to plant, and to trust. The legacy of generations lives on not in perfection, but in perseverance. Life is woven together by physiologically not shaping destinies, breaking hearts, or building empires. For a parent, nothing is more mysterious and sometimes more painful. Then watching the cry, God, what is this, my son, is born out of that mystery. It is the cry of someone who has given guidance, offered wisdom, laid down values. And yet must have powerless, sometimes sums his own path, sometimes towards darkness. Every parent dreams that their child will make the right choices, the ones that lead to growth, honor, and peace. Parents advise, they warn that the power of decision rests not in their hands but in the child's. And it is in that gap, between guidance and free will, that the greatest tension exists. A father may say, I showed him the way. A brother I prayed for him every night. But when the son chooses otherwise, they are forced into the agony of watching consequences unfold. The mystery of the brother cannot guarantee perfection. History is filled with examples wise kings bore foolish sons, while humble peasants raised leaders who changed the world. The soil of chose or deterred by birth or temptation and shaped by circumstances beyond anyone's control. That is why a parent's cry carries both confusion and awe. What is this? My son, means so much was given to you. But choices are not always about failure or rebellion. Sometimes they are about courage, about stepping into the unknown when the parent cannot see the vision. A son may take to imagine, and at first it looks reckless. Yet, years later, that same choice might prove to be the bold leap that defined a destiny. The mystery of the hidden wisdom of unexpected ones. Parents must learn to accept this mystery. They are the seed planters, not the decision makers. They lay the groundwork. But the child discovers his own identity, separate yet connected. And this is where faith enters. The cry God. What is this, my son, is not just despair. It is surrender. It is the anodakalized divine orchestration. Parents can guide, but only God can truly shape the heart. In the end, the mystery of choices is the essence of life's freedom. Without it, there would be no growth. Deviation cycles. Noting nip at a child's path, but that path with all its twists still carries lessons. And sometimes what seems like the worst choice in one season becomes the turning point of redemption in another. The weight of the man is not a chain that binds, but a bond that liberates. Yet it carries a heaviness so profound that it can break a heart and still keep it beating. When a parent cries, "What is this, my son?" the within the girl lies love so strong it refuses to let go. Love is not light, love is weight. It demands endurance, sacrifice, and resilience. From the moment a child is born. Ashnya. Love lays itself upon the bushers at night to provide for him. It turns ordinary moments into sacred duties. The sleepless nights, the sacrifices unspoken. Kuyasta. The quiet unseen bricks of love's foundation. A parent does not measure the cost because true love never counts. Yet the weight grows heavier as the child grows older, for with every step he takes. The stakes rise. Each one is felt not only by him but also by the one who loves him most. The weight of love means a parent feels double. Joys doubled, pains doubled, fears doubled. When the son succeeds, the parent feels the earth collapse beneath their feet. And so in the cry, "What is this, my son?" there is no rejection. There is pain, yes, but pain that proves love's depth. Will simply walk away. But deep love clings even tighter, even when the heart is shattered. This weight also reveals the paradox of love. It binds without enslaving. A parent cannot stop loving a son. Even when he strays it does not ask, "Is he worthy?" That is why the cry is framed with possession. My son. No mistake can strip that title away. Even if the world condemns, even if society rejects, the parent of claiming him is not a curse. It is a gift. It teaches patience, forgiveness, and endurance. It forces the heart to grow larger than pain. Parents learn to do what cannot understand, to end hope even when hope seems foolish. The weight shapes them as much as it shapes the child. In many ways, the weight of parental love mirrors divine love. God bears the unshakable weight of his love for humanity. Our rebellion wounds him, our failures grieve him, yet his love remains. It is this reflection that makes parental love sacred. It is human. The Badikarizagai rises. God, what is this, my son? It is not a cry of abandonment. It is the cry of a love that cannot be silenced. A love that suffers but never surrenders. A love here to be hope in the same breath. When a parent cries, "God, what is this, my son?" it is more than a human outburst. It is a prayer wrapped in anguish. It is the call for the human wisdom collapses. Parents spend their life teaching, guiding, protecting, yet there come moments when the child's actions or circumstances leave them bewildered. Logic fails. Explanations for his heaven. This cry reveals the eternal truth that love, pain, and life itself cannot be fully understood without divine perspective. Parents long to understand. They want to know why someone who was raised for care walks down a path of tragic destruction. They want illness comes, why suffering touches one so young. They want to why they make choices that pierce the heart. Human reasoning strains to find answers, but in the face of overwhelming confusion, the cry to God bursts forth. "Show me, explain this." Give me a zealot to view God's divine understanding is not weakness, it is strength. It is the recognition that parents, no matter how wise or experienced, are not all-knowing. They cannot control destiny. They cannot see to Bila, and they step beyond the limits of human power and ask for wisdom that transcends time, pain, and circumstance. This cry humbles the heart, but it also steadies it. Because it acknowledges God holds meaning, and sometimes not about receiving answers, but about receiving peace. The parent may not know why, but they are given the strength to endure. They may not see the future, but they are given the faith to hope. The cry to God transforms despair into dialogue, and that dialogue becomes the anchor of survival. This call also has a pride for understanding of their children. Humanity cries out to God for understanding of life itself. We too ask, Why suffering? Why loss? Idea. Why failure is not always a solution but a presence. The assurance that even our darkest confusion God does not abandon. Parents mirror this divine posture even when they do not understand their son. They remain by God. What is this, my son? Reminds us that life is larger than our comprehension. It calls us to trust the unseen, to seek wisdom beyond our own, and to believe that even in heartbreak, there is a playing unfolding does not erase the pain, but it sanctifies it, giving it purpose and direction. Thus, when a parent turns their bewilderment into prayer, they rise above despair. The cry become this other child, this situation, and the heart itself into God's hands. And in that surrender lies the deepest strength of all. The cry, God, what is this? My son begins and has the power to transform into redemption. Pain, when every broken story, every shattered dream, every misstep of a child carries within it the seed of healing. Parents who cry will at the threshold of two roads, one that leads to despair and bitterness, and another that leads to forgiveness, renewal and restoration. The miracle of love at a cast moment into a doorway toward redemption. Pain is real, there is no denying it. Parents feel it in the marrow of their bones when their son falters. They feel the sting of awaken, the crushing weight of watching their child suffer. This pain can easily harden into anger, into distance, into silence. But the power of ocean be defined the end of the story. Instead, it becomes the soil in which growth takes root. Redemption does not erase the scars, it transforms them into testimonies. The path to Rudiventur's cry is heavy with hurt, but when they choose to forgive, the cry shifts from despair to hope. Forgiveness does not mean forgetting or excusing, it means releasing the grip of bitterness. It opens a door for healing to flow. Redemption requires humility from both sides. The parent must soften, and the son must repent. But once the first step is taken, the journey becomes possible. Can also often immediate, sharp, and overwhelming, but healing takes time. A son who has strayed may not turn back instantly. A wound caused may not close in a day. But love waits. Though the beautiful love believes the quality of chain, keeps the light when the son is ready, he knows the way back home. This patience is not passive. It is active hope. A steady endurance will have the final word. Most importantly, redemption brings transformation. Pain without redemption is just suffering. But pain embraced with faith becomes a teacher. It teaches parents compassion, humility beyond pride. It teaches children that brokenness can lead to wholeness stronger than before. In this way, the cry, God, what is this? My son, become beginning of a new chapter, one written with wisdom, resilience, and renewed love. Ultimately, redemption reflects the divine. Just as parents redeem the mistakes of their children with love, so God redeems the virtue. Pain leads to cause love never quits and faith never lets go. Thus the cry that began in anguish finds its conclusion in hope. Pain bends the heart, but redemption lifts it. And what began them becomes a testimony in the deep sorrow. There is always a way back, always a chance for renewal, always a promise of redemption.